Imagine this. It's November 24th, 1974. The rainy season is just ending in the Afar region of Ethiopia, a vast sun-scorched landscape of dust and rock. Paleoanthropologist Donald Johanson and his student Tom Gray are scanning the ground, hoping for a lucky find after a long, hot morning. As they head back to their Land Rover, something catches Johanson's eye. It's a tiny fragment of bone, no bigger than his thumb, sticking out of the dirt. He instantly recognizes it as a hominid arm bone. But as they look closer, they see another piece, and another. This wasn't just another fossil. This was a partial skeleton. Over the next 3 weeks, Johanson's team painstakingly recovered hundreds of bone fragments, eventually piecing together about 40% of a single individual's skeleton. This was an astonishingly rare find. But what made it truly earth-shattering was its age, 3.2 million years old. This discovery wasn't just a dot on a timeline. It was a key that would unlock one of the biggest mysteries of our existence. It placed this individual right at the moment humanity was beginning to undergo a profound world-altering change. The world would soon come to know her by a very famous name, Lucy. So, who was this ancient ancestor? Scientifically, she belongs to the species Australopithecus Afarensis, a name that means southern ape from the Afar region. She stood just over 3.5 feet tall and likely weighed around 60 pounds. If you saw her from the neck up, you might think you were looking at an ape. Her skull was small, housing a brain about 1/3 the size of our own, with a projecting jaw and a sloping forehead. She was built for a life spent both in the trees and on the ground. But it was her body, from the neck down, that held the revolutionary secrets. Her pelvis and leg bones were shockingly different from an ape's. They were built for a different kind of movement, a kind of movement that would define our lineage. The discovery was so momentous that back at camp that night, the team celebrated playing a Beatles cassette tape on repeat. When the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds came on, someone suggested, why don't we call her Lucy? The name stuck, giving a human touch to this incredibly important scientific find. It transformed her from a collection of bones, catalog number AL288-1, into a figure everyone could connect with, our distant ancient grandmother. Now, let us get to the core of why Lucy is arguably the most important fossil ever found. It all comes down to one revolutionary clue: bipedalism. That's the scientific term for walking on two legs. For decades, the prevailing theory of human evolution was brains first. Scientists believed that our ancestors first developed large, intelligent brains, and that this intelligence then enabled them to create tools and eventually figure out how to walk upright. It seemed logical, right? A bigger brain leads to bigger ideas, like walking. Lucy completely demolished that theory. She turned it on its head. Her skeleton provided the undeniable, concrete proof. Her pelvis was short and bowl-shaped, much more like a human's than an ape's. This shape is crucial for supporting the upper body's weight and anchoring, the muscles needed for upright walking. Furthermore, the angle of her femur or thigh bone slanted inward to the knee. This is called a valgus knee, and it's a hallmark of bipedalism. It allows us to place our feet directly beneath our center of gravity as we walk, providing stability and efficiency. Apes, who primarily walk on all fours, have femurs that run straight down. So, here was the bombshell. Lucy, with her small ape-like brain, walked upright 3.2 million years ago. Walking came first. Our ancestors were striding across the African savanna long before they developed the large, complex brains that we have today. This wasn't just a small correction to the timeline. It was a fundamental rewrite of the story of human evolution. It forced us to ask a whole new set of questions. Why did we start walking upright? What environmental pressures led to this adaptation? Lucy proved that the journey to becoming human started not with our heads, but with our feet. To understand Lucy's place in our family tree, let's zoom out a bit. She isn't our oldest known upright walking ancestor. That title currently belongs to Ardi, or Ardipithecus ramidus, who lived around 4.4 million years ago. But Ardi's skeleton shows a mix of traits, suggesting she was still very comfortable in the trees. Lucy, on the other hand, represents a more committed, advanced form of bipedalism. After Lucy's time, the evolutionary path eventually leads to the genus Homo starting with Homo habilis, around 2.4 million years ago, a species known for making the first stone tools. Lucy sits perfectly in between a crucial transitional form, and we have more than just her bones as evidence. Just a few years after Lucy's discovery, another team led by Mary Leakey made a stunning find in Lutoli, Tanzania. Preserved in hardened volcanic ash, they found a trail of fossilized footprints, dating back 3.6 million years. These prints were unmistakably made by a bipedal hominid. The arch of the foot, the forward-facing big toe, it was all there. These footprints were likely made by another Australopithecus, Afarensis, just like Lucy, providing powerful, corroborating evidence that creatures like her were confidently walking on two legs across the East African landscape millions of years ago. So, why does Lucy continue to capture our imagination more than any other hominid fossil? Because she is more than just a collection of bones. She is the definitive proof of our shared, ancient African origins. Her discovery provided the solid, tangible evidence that cemented the out-of-Africa theory, the idea that all humanity originated on that continent. She is the anchor point in our family history, the most famous ancestor who connects every single person on this planet today. She reminds us that our journey began on 2 feet, looking out over a vast, challenging, and beautiful landscape. She is, in a very real sense, the matriarch of us all. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found Lucy's story as fascinating as I do, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into our incredible human story. And do want to find out to click the link to check out the next video in our series on human evolution. See you next time.